This is a CBS News Detroit update.
Good morning, I'm Chris Ladine. Here are some of the top stories we're working on this Thursday. A 4-year-old nonverbal autistic child who went missing Wednesday night in Inkster is back home with parents this morning. The child was reported missing around 10 o'clock and was found shortly after 1 this morning. Police say the child is okay. More details will be released later.
Thank God we're safe. They caught him in time. That's what matters.
It's scary. It's very scary. I would never dream coming from that house because they are good people in that house.
A former Michigan National Guard member is accused of attempting to carry out a mass shooting at a military base in Warren. 19-year-old Amar Saeed of Melvindale was arrested Wednesday. The FBI's Joint Terrorism Task Force is investigating. At this point, they believe he was planning the attack alone, but there are still unanswered questions. Michigan State Police are investigating a shooting on the Lodge Freeway near 8 Mile Road. It happened Wednesday afternoon. Our cameras were rolling as the victim's car was towed away from the scene, and you can see several bullet holes in its side. A 64-year-old man from Birmingham was hit and is in the hospital. Still no word on a possible motive or information on the suspected shooter. It's sentencing day for the Monroe County woman found guilty of killing 2 children and injuring several other people when her car crashed through a children's birthday party at the Swan Boat Club. Marcella Chidester was convicted of second-degree murder charges and driving under the influence of alcohol. Chidester's sentencing is set for this afternoon. We will have the judge's decision on later editions of CBS News Detroit. 3 Centerline high school students are now facing charges connected to a gun being brought to school. The Macomb County Prosecutor's Office says the charges include lying to a police officer, having a gun in a weapon-free zone, receiving and concealing a weapon, and carrying a concealed weapon. The gun was found Tuesday. One of the students was formally charged Wednesday and is being held at the Macomb County Juvenile Justice Center. And now let's take a look at our next weather forecast for this Thursday. Good morning, Troy.
Good morning, Chris. Today we are in for some severe weather, especially late in the day, not so much through the afternoon, but mainly this evening. The time frame between 10 p.m. and around 2 in the morning tomorrow, and the main threats would be strong damaging winds as well as large hail. Can't rule out a little bit of flooding as well, as we will have some heavy downpours. Again, that happens after 10 p.m. Looking good for most of the day, only seeing a couple of showers through the next few hours, but most of us drying out into the afternoon with a high today all the way up to 81 degrees and temperature still mild as late as 8 o'clock tonight in the upper 70s. Next weather futurecast will show some breaks in those clouds, a good bit of sun through the afternoon today, and then we track this new storm system into tonight. You see that line of storms moving in, and that is when we'll see that risk of strong winds that could lead to some damage as well as hail. Again, this is at 1 a.m. right on top of a large part of southeast Michigan, pushing off to the east by 2, certainly by 2:33 in the morning tomorrow. Most all of it is out of here, so it's an overnight event, but it moves in and out fairly quickly, and then we'll see a few chances for rain heading closer to the weekend on Saturday, but most of Saturday looking dry. Highs today in the low and mid 80s across the region. You see a high tomorrow of 85, and Chris, look at the weekend, will be near 70 as late as Sunday. Back to you.
All right, thanks for that, Troy. That's a look at your headlines. We'll be covering all the stories that matter to you on air and streaming on the CBS News app and Pluto TV.